Good day, I am Kemar Stuart. In the name of transparency, integrity, and accountability, Minister in the Ministry of Finance Ryan Strachan should account to the public by answering the question as to where is the public register of all government-issued contracts over $1 million as mandated by the BERT Plan since December 2021. To quote from Transparency International, COVID-19 was not only a health crisis, but a corruption crisis, and I'm calling for a full audit of the government of Barbados' COVID-19 expenses. The issuing of government contracts to respective business players comes under the microscope, and luckily, the IMF, in its Article 4 consultation and Memorandum of Understanding of Economic and Financial Policies with Barbados, displayed vision in asking the Minister of Finance Ryan Strachan to table a Public Procurement Act 2021 in order for crisis-related expenditure to be tracked and traced. The Minister in the Ministry of Finance Ryan Strachan explained that the legislation was necessary as it was mandated by the BERT austerity program. BERT was amended in May 2021, and a new line item was supposed to be listed in the 2021-2022 budget, which requires all COVID-19 related government-issued contracts in excess of $1 million be reported to the Barbadian Parliament. According to the agreed IMF MOU of Economic and Financial Policies, both the contract and the names of the successful bidders of government contracts, along with a public register of all government contractors, were to be made available in the Barbados Corporate Registry by the end of 2021. I personally paid a visit to the Barbados Corporate Registry May 23, 2023, and no worker in the registry had the slightest idea of such a policy being implemented by the Ministry of Finance. For clarity, the Public Procurement Act was passed on December 14, 2021, tabled by Ryan Strachan, and in line with the IMF stipulated time frame. This act was later amended on March 22, 2023. However, the workers at the Barbados Corporate Registry remained uninformed and unaware about this new government policy. In February 2023, while speaking in Parliament, economist Marshall Cadell called on the government to fulfill its promise to publish information on contracts awarded for public works projects. She made a call as she insisted that the public procurement must be fully transparent, especially when it comes to the award of contracts for major government projects. Cadell said that the details of awarded contracts should be made available to the public, and in keeping with transparency, the government of Barbados made some serious promises they have not kept. According to economist Cadell, the publication of that information, whether in COVID or not, is critical to the trust and accountability of this government, and she sees no reason why they should not publish the contracts over $1 million as they said they would, whether in an emergency situation or not. Why we should not publish contracts awards of a certain size, she said. In the name of emergency, significant sums of tax dollars were spent on government-issued contracts. And to quote Dr. Kevin Greenwich, government put in place measures where government had to report to Parliament on all COVID-related procurement contracts in excess of $1 million, so that Parliament had to give approval on these and had knowledge of what those procurements were. Alternate views state that Parliament had no real power during COVID, as the Emergency Management Act 2020 was declared, and an extended state of emergency gave the Office of Prime Minister absolute power to make emergency financial decisions without parliamentary or cabinet level oversight. No verified check and balance can be made on government contracts during COVID, as a physical check at the Barbados Corporate Registry shows no results, and the registry workers are not informed about the change in government policy. If the public procurement process was followed as stipulated by the IMF endorsed BERT MOU to publish all government contracts over $1 million in the corporate registry, then a public trail to audit the Ministry of Health and Wellness's government-issued contract, the Radical Investments Limited, to procure COVID-19 vaccines on behalf of the government of Barbados, then it simply wouldn't have been possible. A financial audit of the Office of Prime Minister for the time Barbados spent under the Emergency Management Act is required for full transparency and accountability of the government of Barbados' funds during COVID. Thank you very much. I am Kemar Stuart.